What's up, people? I got a bunch of videos I'm supposed to update. I've been behind, but I don't know. I got hit up on Instagram. I love when people hit me up on Instagram, and he had a question. He wanted to get an Akita. Now, let me just start by saying I'm not the foremost Akita expert in this country. I don't even know if I am an Akita expert, but I have bred Akita mixes. I have raised them. I have trained them. I have rehabilitated one of the most dangerous Akitas I've ever met in my entire life. And, I mean, she does amazing now. She's at the point now where people can walk up to the car and peer in the window. She just sleeps. Actually, earlier today, someone came up to the gate, the construction worker. She didn't even wake up. She sleeps in her doghouse. But here's the deal. This kid, he seems younger, 19, 20, I'm guessing, maybe 23. When I got my female here, I was 22, 23. She's quite a bit smaller. She's an Akita mix, so she's only 50 pounds. And I do have to say that the larger ones, they're more difficult to deal with because they're so much larger that if they do make a mistake, they can just do so much damage so quickly. I mean, a 50-pound Akita mixed thing, yeah, they'll shred a dog or they'll bite a dog's ear. But the bigger ones, they actually have so much power. They just straight pick a dog up off the ground and shake it and kill it. I know that sounds extreme, but I'm telling you the truth. The relative size of an Akita compared to other dogs and just how strong they are. Yeah, they'll freaking kill a dog, no problem. So here's the deal, I mean, I was talking to him and I'm like, look, this is a Akita, this is what's going on, these is how they are, and, you got to make sure you socialize them, you got to make sure you train them, you got to make sure you work with them, and I know, out there, and I continue to encounter this, and that's fine, I don't mind, there are these people that will have this story of, I have an Akita, it's perfect, it's never done anything wrong. I would say, your Akita has never done anything wrong yet. Because that's the reality. It has not done anything yet. Me personally, with an Akita, likely with any dog, would I ever rule out, oh, this dog could never do this? Typically when, oh shit, I just spilled water everywhere. Typically when people start thinking, oh man, my dog could never do this, that's kind of like when somebody's like, my husband would never do, it's like, okay, my child would never do that. It's like, usually that's an indication that somebody's maybe a little out of touch with reality. So I would say it seems very unlikely. I mean, Henry is a dog. He loves people. He loves getting pet and stuff. Like, would I say he could never bite anyone? No, definitely. Like, if he got startled, if he got scared, somebody didn't realize it, I wasn't there. Maybe even if it's territorial, maybe he's in the truck. I mean, he's a great dog, but just check this out. This is how hard I've worked with this dog. For 2 years. This is 2 years he's taken me. Come here. Come on. Out. 2 years. I don't know if you saw that. 2 years to get her to eat out of the bowl with my hand in it. I still feel like if I moved it really quickly right then and there, she probably would bite me. I don't know for sure, but there's a chance. Okay. So check out this knucklehead, this guy. Oh, what's up, buddy? How you doing? Hey, buddy. I mean, Henry's about 90 pounds. But real quick, Henry was fine for 4 years. He never had any problems. And then about 5 years old, he started being, I mean, he was a Akita. He'd stand up to dogs, but he never attacked any dogs. But then around 5 years old, he made a couple bad decisions. So now when it comes to unneutered male dogs, we just have changed our relationship with him and how he relates to them and the amount of freedom he gets around them, and we're just a lot more aware. So This is a point I want to try to make. I want to try to get across, and it's not just Akitas. There's a lot of breeds out there that are like this. Um, there, can somebody own a handgun their entire life, keep it safely stored away? Can somebody own an automatic assault rifle with a high discharge or high capacity magazine, never hurt anybody in their entire life, be a great member of the community, help the family, teach their kids about gun ownership, responsible gun ownership? Yes, it happens all the time. There's many countries that we don't have the problems we have in America. And yes, they have tremendous amounts of extremely responsible gun owners. And there are not massive shootings, and there are not like all this nonsense going on we have here. But most people, or some people at least, if you give them fully automatic assault rifles, if you give them access to all these guns, yes, they're probably not going to make the best choice sometime, and they're going to leave that gun out and a kid's going to get it, or they're going to get mad and they're going to bring it to the bar when they're pissed off at somebody, or maybe they're going to flip out and mow down a bunch of people when they're having a bad day or a bad year. So I just think it's the same thing with an Akita, and I think it's a really important realization to just like, and I know this sounds crazy because the kid's asking me, he's like, well, if I socialize the Akita, it'll be okay, right? No. No. No, no, no. If I take classes on gun ownership, I'll take responsible care of my gun? No. Gun ownership is a lifelong responsibility until you die. It's a lifestyle. For the people that I know that are responsible gun owners, the way they treat their guns, it's a lifestyle. It's a way of looking at firearms, and it's a way of viewing them where there's no room for mistakes. You know, when I've been shooting with my responsible friends, there's no room for a mistake. There's no possibility that someone could even walk over the table and grab the gun. Like, the gun's not even loaded until somebody's ready to shoot it. So that's the thing. I mean, even a well-socialized Akita is not a normal dog. And I see videos all the time of people tell me on YouTube, I have a perfect Akita, it's amazing. Show me a video. Because I looked on YouTube and the only videos I see of Akitas out and about are my own videos. I don't see videos of people taking their Akitas to go play with dogs at the dog park, or meeting tons of dogs, or walking 3 Akitas down a busy street with a bunch of people. I don't see the videos. And it's not just Akitas, there's a lot of breeds that are like this. Now, you have to realize, I take my dogs everywhere. I take them to the beach. Right now, we're going to take all 3 of them to an off-leash dog area, and even the crazy dog with her muzzle on, we'll take her too. And I've put in so much work with all these dogs, like, I have the control over them. I have that level of relationship. But there was always in the back of my mind the reality that at any moment something could happen. If there is any dog or any person other than one of my immediate family members who's known this dog and my dogs their entire life almost, I didn't know. There's always in the back of my mind a possibility that something can happen. And I'll tell you this much. You know, I have a good friend, David Nunez. I will trust him taking my dogs on a hike. I have had dog walkers that I pay. I don't trust them to take my dogs on a hike. I'm not worried about my dogs getting attacked. I'm worried that they're not going to have the level of awareness in the back of their mind and the quickness to respond before anything happens, to see the little signs, to see the posturing, to guide the interaction. I don't think they have that ability. And that's something, and I'm not trying to tell this, that's something you can't teach somebody. The only reason I think I was so successful with my dogs is because my childhood dog bit a kid in the face and got put to sleep. And it was part chow chow. You know, I got lucky and this dog was so aggressive from the time she was a puppy And I had seen the parents, and the parents were completely ballistically insane. I mean, the dad would like literally attack the car, the window, trying to break through the window if you just looked at the car. Well, anyways, I'm not trying to tell you not to do it, okay? And if you're like me, usually when people tell me not to do something, it makes me want to do it more. But I'm going to say don't. The chances are you will not have a dog that you will be able to take everywhere. If we looked at a statistically speaking thing, those are the odds. You're not going to be able to take this dog everywhere. You're not going to be able to have this dog like at the campground off leash hanging out in your campground area and not worry that if someone's 10-pound dog comes charging up, it's not going to rip them open. You're not going to be running down the street in Santa Cruz like I was last week and have a 10-pound dog charge up to you barking and your dog's just going to do nothing. That's the odds. That's just the reality. Now, that's not to say if somebody put the time and energy in, they could get to that place. But you have to realize that's the exception. It really is. It's not normal, and it's... The reality is, in my opinion, the reason it's not normal is because it's so much work and awareness. Most people don't want to do that. Most people don't want to be walking down the street like with the awareness in the back of their mind that if anything happens at any moment, their dog is going to fuck things up. It's like not, my dog might snap at a dog, my dog might like growl. It's like, no, your dog might shred a dog open. You know, your dog might kill a dog. Your dog might bite a person in the face for trying to kiss them with it when you weren't paying attention. So, you know, one of my old coworkers and the guy who actually has her dad, who's a American Akita, he wanted Akitas his whole life. And when I got mine, I didn't even really know it was part Akita. I didn't know what was going on. He just told me, oh, it's an Akita. I wanted one of those. He got his shortly thereafter, and the guy has 2 dogs he can't take anywhere. Other than walking them down the street on a leash, it's the only place he can take them. He can't even put them in his car because they got so dangerous and aggressive, and he wasn't the right personality type to get them out and show them that the world was a safe place. And they ended up kind of digressing to this point where, like, they just have so much anxiety, and, you know, he has a really intimate relationship with them. He hugs them and pets them all the time and gives them beer and stuff. But, and this is just the reality, okay? Like, I go all over the place with my dogs. The amount of Akitas I've ever seen off leash, I've only seen one full-bred Akita off leash around dogs, unneutered, in my whole life. I met one guy, he had an unneutered male Akita, and the dog was actually really good, but even still, they were swimming at the river, and a few times, he had to put his dog on a leash. The energy was getting too out of control, he could tell his dog was getting, it was just not a good situation. He put his dog back on a leash. So even this guy who had the unneutered male that was an exceptional Akita. The guy, obviously the breeders had done a really good job, and he probably also just got, you know, personality-wise, got really lucky. He got a mellow guy. And, but even him, it wasn't, oh, I'm going to go hang out at the river and, like, forget about my dog. No, he had to, at a certain point, put his dog on a leash. So, I'm not saying that don't get an Akita. I'm just saying be aware of the reality of what you're getting yourself into. If I wanted a car, I could drive long distances, you know, to LA, up to San Francisco real quick, go to a business meeting and come back. Like, I wouldn't have gotten a Toyota Land Cruiser turbo diesel on 35-inch tires. Can my Toyota Land Cruiser still drive to LA if I want to go to a meeting or drive to the Bay Area and back? Of course it can. But that's not the ideal situation. So, if I want a dog I can take places and do everything with, don't get an Akita. Can you have an Akita and train it and take it everywhere? Sure, you can. You know, I think the thought that somebody like you is asking is probably a good indication of maybe you might be prepared. That's basically it.